heard of a place where art isn't just in a gallery, but in the very air you breathe? Let's take a trip back in time to a little pocket of New York City, a place called Greenwich Village. Now, this wasn't your typical neighborhood. Picture this: winding streets, old brick buildings, and artists everywhere. It was a magnet for creative souls, a place where painters, writers, and dreamers came to chase their passions. And in one of these charming, slightly crooked buildings, our story begins. Right at the top of a 3-story brick house, nestled under the eaves, was a studio shared by 2 young artists, Sue and Johnsy. Their real names were Joanna and, well, just Sue, but everyone called Joanna Johnsy. They were like 2 puzzle pieces from completely different boxes that just happened to fit together perfectly. Sue hailed from the sunny landscapes of California, while Johnsy came from the rocky coasts of Maine. Worlds apart, right? But when they met at a little restaurant on 8th Street, they discovered they had so much in common. They both loved art, of course, but it was more than that. They shared a taste for chicory salad and bishop sleeves, and they just ... clicked. It was one of those instant friendships that feel like they were always meant to be. So they decided to pool their resources, which weren't much, and set up a joint studio together. It was their little haven, a space where they could paint, dream, and face the world side by side. Life in the village was a beautiful, chaotic dance. They'd spend their days sketching the city's vibrant life, dabbing paint onto canvases, and sharing meals that were probably more creative than they were nutritious. Their studio was filled with the smell of turpentine and coffee, the floor spattered with a rainbow of colors. It was a life built on passion and friendship, a testament to the idea that when you find your people and your place, you can create your own little world, even in the heart of a bustling city. But as winter began to creep into New York, it brought with it a cold, unseen visitor. A stranger who stalked the city, touching one person here, another there, with its icy fingers. The doctors called him pneumonia. This wasn't a gentle illness. It was a brutal force, and it began to move through the narrow, crowded streets of Greenwich Village, leaving a trail of sickness in its wake. It wasn't exactly a fair fight for the artists living in their drafty studios. And one day, this unwelcome visitor found its way to the top of that 3-story brick building. It found Johnsy one morning. She just lay in her little iron bed, barely moving, staring out the small window pane at the blank side of the brick house next door. Sue tried everything to cheer her up, bringing her broth and talking about fashion and art, but Johnsy's interest in the world was fading as quickly as the autumn light. The doctor came every day, a serious man with bushy grey eyebrows. He'd check Johnsy's temperature, listen to her breathing, and then step into the hallway to talk to Sue. One day, he pulled Sue aside, his face grave. He told her Johnsy had 1 chance in 10, and that chance, he said, was for her to want to live. He explained that when a person begins to count the carriages in their own funeral procession, half the power of medicine is lost. He saw that Johnsy had made up her mind that she wasn't going to get well. He asked Sue if there was anything on her mind, maybe something worth living for. Sue, trying to sound hopeful, mentioned Johnsy's dream of one day painting the Bay of Naples. But the doctor was skeptical. He knew that the will to live was a fragile, powerful thing, and right now Johnsy's was slipping away. He promised to do all he could, but he urged Sue to find a way, anyway, to spark that little flame of hope back to life in her friend. And so, with a heavy heart, Sue went back into the studio, a drawing board in hand, determined to fight for her friend's life in the only way she knew how. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next part of the story.